I think Canadians are very much stuck between a sense of arrogance and naivety. I think on one hand we have a sense of liberalism that's extremely arrogant and looks down on the problems of the people of most of this country, or I should say most parts of it. Most people live in the cities, truthfully, and I think a lot of people in the cities are extremely naive too, along with their arrogance. But there is at least these go hand in hand, right? But I think it's our liberalism. It has a very poor sense of like who we are, really, at its core, and it does need to get more local. I think that's a guarantee. I think we all know that it needs to get more local and more community based. Cheers to Trump for making weed legal. Gotta admit, that's pretty damn good. Anyway, I'm not commenting on the other things. I'm not commenting on nothing else. I've never been a fan of the man. I actually didn't think he'd win in 2016. Guess I was wrong there. But, back then I did catch on to what Trump was using, which is disenfranchised young men online. And, like, online. Sorry, my mouth was kind of weird there. I saw that. I feel for them, man, because I relate, in a sense, in so much to them. Sorry, let's get some weird shots. I relate to them in so much sense, oh my God, man. It's hard, dude. And, I know that in my life, there are things that I have that I did not earn. They're there because of people in my past or my family. And some of them are just luck, and sometimes people get dealt a shitty hand of cards, man. Sometimes people get dealt a shitty hand of cards, and that's a metaphor. Obviously, we all have problems in our life, we all have problems and things to deal with. However, and I think the sense even back then, what I took from it was very simply, because I love my family, and the fact that they didn't care about these things or didn't really care about the fact of what they were saying and then what my response was. That's what always really struck me about it, is that you're ignoring what I'm saying, which is gaslighting, or talking past each other. It's also what they do, what has been done. I see a lot on both sides, because they're extremists. And so I was saying we need a new way forward for Canada. And so if I had to put it out into the world, what exactly for other people to model, doesn't even have to be me. I'm not saying me, I'm saying someone listening to me, right? I'm not even out there doing that. I'm just talking to my fucking self in a room like a schizophrenic. Luckily it makes sense. We're still in reality for now. But, the way forward is pretty easy. It's pretty easy. How do you solve arguments in your real life? You're going to have to be a pragmatist in some sense and go, what works, what doesn't work, and what's true and what's not true. What is that's true and that's true. But you're based you know what I'm saying? There's lots of issues, and all of them have lots of different complexities to them. But even by me stating too, we need to build institutions. What does that look like? What's an institution? We build companies, but even companies just make money. That's the goal of a company. What's the goal of an institution? Well, the goal of an institution is to bring people together. And so how are we going to bring people together? Well, very obviously, solve the problems. And by solving the problem, you thus bring people together. Oftentimes, you actually unite the people against the problem. That's how we won World War II. If anyone's wondering how that game played out, fuck all the politics of it. Seriously, fuck all the politics of it. Take all that aside. Take all the meaning, the value, the whatever. Just look at it, okay? You have allies, Axis. Allies, Axis. Right? There's a few of them. There's a lot of us. Just read that first. Is there a better metaphor I've ever seen in my life? Like, that never gets better. Like, that's the best metaphor. And some people might. There is people out there. I worry that they're gonna go, well, it's white straight male. That means that's why Trump is a fascist. Listen, Trump is not a fascist. He was elected. Now, if it starts to look like a fascist state, well, that's what you elected. I don't know what. Now, if he stays past his like last day in office, 100% won't disagree with you. Now, if he's elected for another third term, that's a different scenario. But right now, I honestly don't think he's going to do that. I just don't. I just don't really think that was ever on the game card for Trump. I think other people would like it because there's really nobody left for the Republicans to run. And they're most definitely going to lose. I mean, I know the Democrats are not really there yet, but they'll get there. Give them time. It will build. It's going to take it takes time to build institutions. That's what they're doing in the States. So it might even be time before we start to do that here. But I think what people misunderstand is they think, oh, Canada, that means it's going to be a liberal institutions we're building. No, my friend. The liberals created the institutions here, right? Because that was the conservative, that was like the Liberal Party in Britain was really why. And so just like how Trump is helping revitalize the states, I know people don't like him, and I'm sure some of his policies will be utterly disastrous. Is the tariff one a good idea? I'll be honest, probably not. But, I don't know. I actually really don't know. I am not well versed enough to know. I don't really know. I'd have to really ask somebody who's like knows and is favorable to Trump, ask them what they think, and then ask them to figure out the others. I kind of know different things of the other side. But at the end of the day, my point is it's going to be a conservative party here. It has to be. The liberal state came in Britain, right? Through them, and it's going to come here through our conservative parties, hilariously enough. It's just how it works. We're the new world. We're inverse. We're backwards. But this is the new world. This is the new millennium, is kind of my point. It's already been set. Like, the new world order been set. I'm just realizing it. I hope I speak to maybe people younger than me. I don't know, people of the same age, I'm hoping. Maybe don't know these things. I'd love to share it, because honestly, like, we live in a very good world, and I know I've met them, seen them, talked to them. There's those out there who will try and convince you that this world is, I don't know, man, there's a lot of different perspectives, right? There's a lot of different extremists, but I'm going to say at the end of the day, extremists. And I'm not saying people like pretty far to the right or pretty far to the left or whatever, I'm saying people, very simply, who, and I'm not saying don't even want to debate. Everyone has a right to say, I don't want to fucking debate. You can't debate everybody. However, if someone is saying that this is past the level of discussion, this is past the level of talking, and this is on the level of violence, then obviously you can't talk with this person, and obviously force could be used. I don't think that's an extreme statement to say if you're defending yourself, truly. There's been obvious times that hasn't happened. To be honest with you, people go, oh, the New World Order was set after 9/11. No, dude, that's not. When communism died is when it happened. When George Bush, when he was like vice president, that's basically, when it was set, and then Reagan took it right after. But Bush did that, not Reagan. I mean, nuts. I mean, you think the Soviet Union collapses overnight, my friend? I mean, that's just craziness. And first of all, superpowers die by suicide. They do not die by murder. And first of all, who murdered who? Who murdered? I don't see any Americans killing Russians. My point. So my point is that this, obviously they killed themselves. The whole institution just collapsed. Why? Well, it's what George Bush did. Truthfully, it's setting up the UN. It's setting up NATO. It's positioning the free world. And it's making continental empires like the USSR fight local people. Listen, this is something nice I like here at Canada right now. That message, Carney's got that message, brand changed. And you're seeing an uptick in our military here, reinvestment in it, 300,000 troops. That's amazing. Like, truthfully, that's amazing, fantastic. I don't ever want to see them fight in Russia. They're not. It looks like Trump already bought out Putin, bought Putin out. Russians will do peace. It was already going to make them like North Korea, just a pariah state. So that's over now, thank God. But if not, if they decide to come back for round 2, first of all, the Ukrainians have the best army in Europe, okay? And then every other European country is arming themselves. And so Russia has never faced such a greater threat if they ever try and do that. But the truth is, every country wants them to join in trade. Like, no country wants that. No one wants that. Thank God, I think Russians don't want that either now. And maybe they had to fight and get it out of them. So be it. It's a shame so many of them had to die, honestly, and it's a shame so many innocent Ukrainians died. Truthfully, it's horrific. And there'll be war reparations to pay for that. Like, they're really not going to get off of this scot-free. It's going to take time. It's going to take years for the dust to settle. But the dust hasn't settled yet. This is just like the early days of it yet. But, you know, I do worry about America walking away from the global stage. They can. I mean, it's just what it is, right? And we need to be there. We need to be there. The British are occupied. The Australians are occupied. They are. They're dealing with China. Great Britain's dealing with Russia. That's where Canada's important. Right there. That's where we're important. It is our job. We'll go to Africa. Third world. We're a middling nation anyway. It's how we're regarded. So to go to a first world, not going to work. Second world, still even kind of rough. We haven't built ourselves up that way. But third world? And I know people don't like to look at that, but like, I'll be honest with you. I've come to a realization about this whole thing. And beyond that point, what is the goal of all this? The goal of all this is to set rules up. Is make it so even though if you don't like me and I don't like you, we still have to sit down and talk. Or don't talk, but we still have to sit. We can't just fucking shoot each other. And if we behave like that, everyone else is armed to deal with you, and it'll be just isolated until you can calm the fuck down. Or if you're executing your own people too, and that's usually what it is. It's not really ever really that anymore. It's more of the internal repression. And, you know, maybe we're not hard enough on that, probably. And we probably are not hard enough on that. And, you know, whose fault is that, though? Who the fuck's fault is that, though? Like, I find that hilarious. We criticize we criticize them. No one else is criticizing it but us. And then we go, why isn't it working? Because, well, who the fuck do you... It's craziness. However, luckily, like, it's caught on. And other people know this, see this. And that's great. But as Canada, we have a duty here. Like, truthfully, for those interested. For those that care, but even for everybody else in your daily personal life, think of what this country gives you, man. Think of the life you have here, you know, and then think of, like, the people that came before you that had to really suffer to get that. You know, like, that's, you know, that right there is love, and that's how you know you live in a good place. It's because people spent their time, the most precious thing they have, building for you. And so, what is our job? Build for them. Build for the next generation. That's our job. I don't know how else to put it. It's very clear. It's very clear. And that's to do in your own way. That's definitely to do in your own way. I wouldn't disagree with that one bit. You know, in life, you really have to line up your interests for sure, and what you like, or what you find fascinating. You know what I mean? What you could but also what the world needs. You know what I mean? But match what the world needs, and then what could you do for the world that matches with your interests. Sorry, that's a much straightforward way to say it. I was going from the back end up, but yeah, I mean, it's not like a naive, optimistic task. It's just the task before us. I'll be honest. It is just the task that is there. It doesn't really matter. This is the world. This is the world, whether we like it or not. We can sit here and whine and bitch and moan about it. Well, all I have is a box in a room. I don't have make friends, and I don't have a girlfriend, and like, it's insane. It's, what? That's all you have. Well, go get more. Go do, what the, are you free? Who the fuck's controlling you? That's always my question. Why are you whining? Like, what? But people are lied to today. That's why. And so that's why it's our job today to not tell lies. People want to ask what they can do. What am I trying to say? Don't tell lies. And if you do, well, hey man, listen, if you say something that is untrue, but you didn't do it intentionally, that's not really a lie. That's not a lie. Like, that's not what lying is. No one calls that a lie. That's just called being wrong. Ooh, scary, bad thing. Totally fine, actually. Totally fine. I hate to break everyone's bubble, but we kind of live in Christian nations. Or maybe I shouldn't even add that, because I guess there are Muslims here too. But listen, man, it's not about Christianity, actually. I don't know if it's really necessarily about Christianity, my bad. But humility. We all have humility, you know? And we all believe in that. So that's fundamental to our law too, actually. So, you know, that's just a real instinctive value here. And so if you're willing to admit you're wrong about something, no one's gonna fault you for that. We fault people when they're wrong, they don't want to admit it, and then they even especially want to use violence to try to prove who knows what, who cares what, truthfully. But besides telling lies, the last thing too is everyone should draw a red line on being enslaved. Okay, oh fine, you don't want to be enslaved by capitalism, Okay, you're one of these fucking people. Okay, well fine, don't be. I don't know, don't be. Because listen, I don't know how anyone else lives their fucking life. This is how I live my life. Never been beat up, never been in a fight, really. I live a peaceful life. You know, and if someone tries to enslave me, or anything's trying to say, I don't participate, first of all. You try to use force on me, listen, someone's dying with me. Someone's coming to hell with me, because, like, that's how it is. It's very simple. It's a very simple thing. And life is not that complicated, truthfully. You can make it very simple. Because that's the thing. It is your life. It is my hands. I get to decide. You're going to have to fucking kill me. That's what I would, personally, truthfully, I'd just rather die. You know? Someone comes to me and goes, oh, you enslave you or kill your kids. Well, kill us both. Because fuck what I care. I'm not letting you enslave my kid. Kill him, motherfucker. You get what I'm saying? Like, there is red lines somewhere, and you can draw them. But listen, the people who are complaining about it, they're the people who've given up. They're the people who haven't drawn those red lines and have gone, well, I guess I'm just going to give in and just bitch and moan about it all the time now. You know, or they self-obsess like a fucking autist over, like, one issue only. Like, that really matters. I honestly, it's kind of absurd. It's kind of interesting too that people, when they have all these things about what's the meaning of life and what's the meaning of all this, what's the meaning of my life, you know, especially like this more they're asking. I don't know why they don't start. Well, let's work history. Let's just work it. The victors, also keep that in mind. The victors write history, but just work it backwards, and that's it. What else? I mean, do that. But there is a line of spirituality to all of it. I don't think anyone would deny that. There is a level of supernatural to everything, and so. You know, and I choose to do good every day. I choose to believe in God every day. I choose to do and act like I do. I choose to participate like the future's going to be good. Because it's very simple, as I said. I have my lines that I've drawn. I know what the point of this is. I get why it's structured the way it is. I'm for it. I'm also for change, too, by the way. I don't think, I'm all for this next. I think this conservative will probably be the best choice. Looks like. I think it's already kind of been picked though. But yeah, we need to build more houses for sure here. But anyway, it's besides all the point, man. Besides all the point. This is such a bullshit of the thing. And if some people might say, well, geopolitics, all this stuff, like global politics, does it really matter? And like, is it really important? Like, why should I care? And the point is, well, it does. The truth is, it does. Whether you like it or not. It cares about you. Do you get spam callers from India? I'm just saying, like, so, like, you know, the world cares about us, and so whether we care about it or not doesn't really fucking matter. Americans will get this message. I think the currently already have. I will be honest with you. We're just watching the last breath of Trump. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Even if he runs again, I think he'll staggeringly lose. I don't think he'll win again. I really don't. He's already extremely unpopular. Already. I mean, I'll be honest with you. As much it's almost ironically sad in a way, because like as much good as he might kind of do, it's all going to be so overshadowed by his just bad temper, I guess. I don't really know, but like just his what do you call it? Like his just fascistic kind of style, and like, you know, very authoritarian. You know, that's kind of how to describe him. Not fascist. Okay, that's probably fair. But you know, like that kind of style. Well, that style, like it's not. He's not that. Like I would always argue the first one of him was not. We have Doug Ford now as a premier here, but Rob, his brother. Like he's a populist. Everyone has to remember this. He's not a fascist. Like that's a woman who like already hates the United States and is then viewing the presidency. The presidency looks like it's the presidency of the United States. It's the leader of the country that is the global superpower. I'm confused what you expected. Like I'm actually concerned why you would want anything else. Because who do you want filling that shoe, mind you? Shouldn't we all take a breath and look and go, isn't it damn good it's them? Because there's really no other good candidates. I can't name a single fucking one. The next candidate is a huge drop-off. Like, huge drop-off. It's like a 90%. It's such drop-off, it wouldn't even happen. There would literally be a revolution and a civil war everywhere. I mean, bro, no one would accept that. It's very good that's happened to you, because we wouldn't have one. World War III would have been guaranteed. Guaranteed. Would have happened a long time ago. Would have long been thought. And so we all can breath a sigh of relief about that. And so it set the boundaries of the world. Like it set the geography. It also set the beyond, like kind of the boundaries of how this world's structured to a degree. And I think some people don't like that very much. They just don't like it very much. And in some way they've been slighted by the system. And I'm saying the system because it's a collection of a lot of different systems, and really they're just not connected. I'll be honest. There's, you know, like an AI takeover is so ridiculous to people here, but it's not to people in China. It's not there because there's far more authoritarian, from my understanding. I'm not Chinese, but I don't know. But here it's so disconnected. I mean, listen, they can try and put AI in places, and it ain't gonna work. It's just not gonna work. People will never accept it, man. I mean, people will never accept it. It's weird. We don't like it, and people would fight it. I don't know. I would. I hope Canadians would too. Canadians scare me a little bit sometimes, but I think that's because Canada is so urban that, and so much of the media looks, how should I say? Well, the media just focuses on there a lot, right? And so it misses the the rural part of this country a lot, especially through polls too. And so I don't think we ever necessarily see the Conservatives winning before they do, but I think it's obvious to some. I think it's pretty obvious Poilievre's going to win. I just don't see another chance of him winning. Personally, I just don't see another chance. I mean, he kind of is a populist-ish to a degree, but like, I don't really like the way people are labeling that. Like, they're kind of looking at it like some liberals like to look at that and go, that means that these countries are fascist states and turning into fascist states. I was watching an Ordinary Things video, and he was kind of saying that a lot, and I think they missed the point that that they're still gonna go when legally they have to. I mean, how do you think that's gonna go? Like, listen, what's the big lie here, right? The big lie in the Soviet Union collapsed, right? That's what broke their society and their institutions. Okay, so what's the big lie here? Well, the big lie is the boundaries we've created. I don't know what else to say. It's the boundaries we've created. And so, you know, if the Trump presidency might find a way to run, but yet still you gotta win, I don't know what to say. You still gotta win. And, you know, yeah, they have had, like, rigged elections in the past, I think from my perspective. But at the end of the day, like, you gotta remember, man, that's never been a part of the big lie here. The amount of effort it would take to propagandize the West It's just actually not plausible because we, like, immigration is so part of our system. It's just not plausible. I'll be honest. And it strikes, and better and smarter people than a lot of people today have thought about this and have worked very hard and diligently to make sure some of the core values of our society are based in rights. They're not based in identity. They're not based in anything that could be at all relative. Nothing relative. A right is not a wrong. It's a right. And so that's it, right? And even that language is so key, I think. I really do. I think it's very important. Yeah. And if I could say anything to people too, the things has been good. I think I've really got out a lot of what I want to say. But the last thing I would really say is, okay, there's no grand conspiracy, right? There's conspiracies, definitely, and there's lots of forces at work, but that's my point. The West is made up of a collection of a lot of different groups. Now, yes, America is the most powerful. Yeah, they are, sure, but like, does that make them immune? You think it makes them immune? No, it doesn't make them immune at all. I'll be honest with you. If I could say anything about Trump's presidency, I think what's good about Trump's presidency, it's allowing the Americans to reset a lot of stuff. And one good thing about it is that I hope they do distance themselves from Israel, maybe. But I don't know. Like, that's a complicated issue. It might be more important than I even am realizing. My girlfriend's from Ethiopia, and they have a lot of tribal wars going on there too. And so, yeah, I don't know. But what's happening in Palestine, from my perspective, just as a Christian, is a genocide. It's awful. It's horrific. Now, were they backed into a corner with no other option? I mean, I don't even know, man. Is that an excuse to do a genocide, though? Like, there probably would have been a place to stop before that, wouldn't there have been? But I'll be honest, man, I don't know. Listen, I've dated a Jewish person before me. I had a Jewish girlfriend. I've had a Chinese girlfriend. There's no hatred in my heart, man. I mean, Canada's a very big place, man. It's a mosaic of different cultures. But, so is the United States. And this is going to be my last kind of, two last points before I go on to the pop. I'll end with an optimistic thing and my last little thing. I know some people are trying to, besides the just rant, like the criticism of the power of the presidency, because that's what it is, and it's allowing America to reset a lot of stuff, and hopefully they can push Israel out a little bit, because they have far too much power in their politics. But, truthfully, it's not even my place. Honestly, it's not my place. I'm not there. And that's why I would say to other people, too, like, you're not an American. So that's an American problem. It's an American president. It's an American problem. I know they're a global superpower, but, like, really? How does Trump affect your life directly? Come on now. Use your fucking head. Really? How does he affect your goddamn life? Not your government. Wouldn't your government be responsible first, not the fucking United States president? It's just what a ridiculous goddamn thing. I just find it so absurd. You should care more about your own politics. It's just so much more important. So much more. And that you can affect. That you can actually affect. And if you can affect that, you actually might be able to affect the other one. Bigger ones. Like, I don't understand. It kind of cascades like that. I don't know why people... I don't know if they didn't understand domino theory. It is a real theory, by the way. Yeah, I was wrong about communism, but it was right about democracy. Democracy spread like boom, 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 everywhere, dog. We're all democracies, which means we have the right to be ugly, too. We have the right to be wrong. Like, I don't know what else to be. Yeah, the Americans elected them. They wanted them. Well, guess what, Democrats? Maybe do better next time. I don't know what else to say. Get a better candidate. Like, if it's a democracy and they ran the race and you lost, you're a fucking winner. That's how this works. Some people just don't like the rules of the game, and they want to complain about it. But I'll be honest with you, we don't have time for that. We don't have time to sit around and complain about things we can't fucking change. That's my point. We don't have time anymore. We have to act. We have to participate. We have to build connections, build up our networks, right? Build up our community, build up institutions, right? This is what needs to further happen because, global warming, climate change, whatever you want to call it. I don't even, whatever new problem even comes to, we're going to need to work as a species to handle it. And we can now. We can't use no fucking excuse that we couldn't. We did. We had a chance and we failed. So now we don't have we have to act. And, you know, if anyone sees this, you saw this, and you know this now. Because it is our duty. It is our duty. Like, because can you name me another time humanity has ever had this opportunity? Name me another time humanity has had this opportunity to have everywhere on the map labeled so every country gets a spot at the table. Ooh, it rhymes. And, you know, I can't think of another way to make it rhyme, but everyone gets a seat. Everyone gets drawn on the map and they get a seat at the table, okay? And we can actually have to talk about our issues. And so if you want to address climate change, that's going to be the best place to do it. And so I know America backed out of that, but listen, if the rest of us all agree and push it that way, they're going to have to. I don't know if anyone else knows how this works, but America needs us like we need them. I know they're the superpower. You know, we don't have to tell no Americans this, but, you know, we kind of just let them feel that way. Their power's long been eroded. I don't think Americans have noticed that part yet. They're not the superpower of the world. I mean, we can call them in to handle whatever threats we need before they get too big, for sure. But, you know, the point of what I'm saying, the geography's been lined and defined, but there is other rules too, legal rules that have been long defined. You know, if America kills me, the Canadians can say something. And if they don't say anything, other people will say something because they're interested then. Well, why are you killing Canadians? That changes things. And you might go, well, they're not interested. Oh, no, they are then. They are then. They're just not interested in us when we're just behaving like an idiot. And that's what Justin Trudeau has been. They listen. They like Mark Carney. You can see us. We've retaken the world stage to a degree. It takes time, though, because we lost a lot of credibility with Justin Trudeau. It's just what it is. But, you know, we needed that for Stephen Harper. Yeah, but this is the time humanity's had the closest time for world peace without, like, with everyone having a say. Like, I don't know if people in the West have quite comprehended that yet. Like, I think we're still going through this phase of thinking that, like, I don't know, man. I've always actually kind of been lost about it because I've grown up with an iPod, right, since 2002, and I've just had it and I've been able to listen and watch lots of stuff. And I love learning about people. I really do. People are so interesting. I mean, if I can plead to anybody who doesn't agree with me on that, like, I mean, honestly, humans are some of the most, there's nothing like us. We're not even very strong. Human is a metaphor. It's so beautiful that I understand why someone would think a God created it, because it is so beautiful. But, you know, I'm not saying that it wasn't either, because truthfully, I don't know. I can't explain lots of things in my life. But I continue to live it the right way that I think. And if I'm wrong, I'd like to know why, because I want to correct myself. I actually want to be right. I like to say that. If I said something wrong, I'd like to know, because I want to make sure I understand what I got wrong. And I'm sure I'm misunderstanding some things, but I think what I'm saying is definitely valid, and it connects a lot to what's going on today. And I think we definitely are, like, in that fourth turning type thing where I think a lot of people are waking up. And I know people might think, well, it's wokeness. Yeah, I mean, it is and it isn't. I mean, there's unfortunate thing about it is there's grifters in this too, which you know, take it in their own direction, right? Especially race grifters. It's sad. It's sad, and it's a perversion of what it was supposed to be. But unfortunately, like, unfortunately for them, it's just not gonna last. But because naturally, what happens is, at least for me, is that I've seen this in my own family, and for me, it's made me very much a pragmatist in my belief system. I very much want to see things work. And I very much just want people to be okay. And I want things... But, you know, I understand that struggle is necessary. That I understand that friction is necessary. It is. It is. We have that in our own lives. I mean, we all know that, right? But, like, now, does that mean violence is necessary? No, it doesn't. But you know what's interesting about the Bible? It's funny, sometimes it's so beautiful because it gets things so right sometimes. But it says the meek shall inherit the earth. You know, there's a phrase. Sorry, not a phrase. There's a line that says that. And because of poor translation and words changing over the years, we get it wrong. We think it means, oh, like, yeah, meek inherit the earth, like fucking, people that are weak. But that's not what it means. No, that's not what it means. Meek used to mean someone who's strong but reserved, right? So you could do harm, great harm, but you don't. You're reserved. You defend yourself. And that's how we behave on the world stage, right? We don't attack. We just sanction. We put you on a timeout. And so I want people to understand that, truthfully. I want you to understand that. And I know people might hate Trump, but he's not going to end the world, man. He's not going to end the world. He's going to do whatever Trump wants to do as president. People might go on to read some of this or get interested in this and think and look for some conspiracy. Well, I'm going to tell you, there's plenty of them. Plenty of them. All throughout even what I've been saying. Because people work to do these things, right? And what is that other than a conspiracy? So it's just not known. And so, yeah, I expect that, truthfully. But I think we all need to live our lives of a place where, listen, I used to do drugs and stuff, and I spent time, I have some gang members in a community I used to live around, and there's like, I'm trying to think how to communicate this. I even kind of forgot what I was going to say. Jeez, I lost my train of thought. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, I hope I painted a good picture there. I mean, listen, the shitty part is that it is ugly. Oh yeah, for sure. It's chaos. Yeah, of course it is. But dude, people, come on. Let's have some sensibility. Let's have some logic here again. Let's come back to reality a little bit, okay? Who told you liberation? Who told you freedom was going to look nice? Who told you it was always going to be sweet? Who told you this? I don't know. I don't know. I was never promised that. I was promised rights, but I wasn't promised anything else. I wasn't like, and so I want people to understand that. Like, this world isn't promised to you. It's earned. It's earned. But victory favors the bold. God favors the bold too. So does the devil, but the devil always meets his match. And some might not believe that, but I do. I do. Because, some people didn't like Trump very much and thought he was the devil. And he almost met his match by and when we got to the shooters, they were pretty incompetent people, dog. And, I guess I'll touch on one last topic. The Little Red Book, okay, from the Chinese Cultural Revolution. It's an interesting piece of history because that's what's happened with TikTok, right? It's radicalized a youth, which is why they banned it. But, they're not necessarily using it for good. Now, does that mean it ends up where we want it to end up? No, or where we think it's going to end up? I'll be honest. No. Just flat out no. The world is set how it is. The world is just set. This is it. And so when it changes, if it does in my lifetime, it will change by socioeconomic means. It's not going to be a military change. I just get that out of your head. It's not going to be a geography change. Get that out of your head. None of that is going to be it. It's just not. It's just not. We see this with Trump and ICE and these guys. Who knows? Unfortunately, if you weren't a legal citizen, the government isn't actually at liberty to have to protect you. Now, does that mean they're going to fucking start deporting anybody who doesn't look like them? No, it doesn't mean that. No, it doesn't. And we have to deal with the facts. And if they're not doing that right now, then it's a bit you kind of miss the point, right? You kind of miss the point by going off in that direction. That's kind of been done. I know some people think the Hitler stuff this year is important or relevant. It's just not, though. I'll be honest. It's like it's kind of smoke and mirrors. It's just kind of a distraction. I'll be honest with you. These are all all that's distractions. Like even like even like the conspiracy stuff. Like, oh my God, man. I mean, it's just listen. Saying a conspiracy theory, I don't know. It's just kind of deflection, is my point. And if you want to see things change, propose something that works. Like my thing to climate activists, it's not that I disagree with climate change. Why would I deal with something like climate change? Obviously not. You back me into a corner with that one. But my point is that it doesn't matter if you're right or wrong about the fucking climate if you can't propose anything different. You know, coming to the table and going, there's a big fucking problem with nothing to do about it isn't as helpful as you think it is. And so my thing to environmentalists would be, I hope you heard the first shot. Now start working. But don't worry. People will, for sure. This is a big world, man. And with the invention of the internet, it just got a whole lot bigger. And, you know, the internet did come out of a U.S. military experiment. I mean, it wasn't necessarily meant for the way it's used today, but it did come from there, and it wasn't meant to use to communicate to spies and, like, spread uprisings and stuff. So, you know, remember that when people say conspiracy theory, what they mean, or like when they say the CIA created the word conspiracy theory, not to label people. They did it. They're the first. They were propaganda, my friend. The state's always been doing this. But I'll be honest with you, they're not that good at it. They're just not, and they get worse at it with time. And so don't worry. But this might be my whole thing. Don't worry. They get worse at it with time. And like my girlfriend's from Ethiopia, okay? And Christianity exists there. They're a friend of the United States, from my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong about that. I don't really know about the politics too much, but they're democracy, I believe, right? They have major cities. I know there's like a skateboard community there. They're a Christian nation too. So there's Christianities in Africa. Like if my prediction was anything for the future, it's Africa. It's Africa. Who's going to save the West? Africa. Humanity left Africa, and it's coming home. It's coming home. I really think that that's where this all is gonna. I think Africa is really the key to all this. I really do, and I think as Canadians we can play a massive role. I really do. I really do. And the Irish have lots of connections in North Africa. So you know, why don't they help them during the revolution? So they need to pick it up too. Like, you know, developing Africa is key for climate change, and I hope activists see that, and I hope they see too, less humans is not necessarily bad. Less humans who maybe are like working against this, sure, but like let's be realistic. Majority of humans agree, like they don't just agree with this. It's kind of controversial too. Most conservatives, my understanding, don't even. You know what I mean? My point is though that needs to be a big thing. At the end of the day, though, Canada's going to benefit from climate change. We're the biggest nation in the world. We have all the resources America needs. Any of the jobs that they want to create, they're going to reindustrialize, it seems like. And so they're going to create lots of factories, lots of jobs here. It's going to make us stronger, probably stronger than Great Britain. Wouldn't that be nice? Maybe not, though, actually. I don't know. Probably not. But you know what I mean. However, though, I will say this, though, for everyone to understand, like there is something really to be said that the boundary lines now are not being drawn by geography, optics, and even through optic cables, our internet. It's being drawn there. And I find it, you know, I don't know. But I would recommend the use of a VPN for everybody. Keep your information wide. You know, that's what our founders would have wanted. Truthfully, And I don't even think anyone disagrees with that. I don't even think the people in government today in the Republican side disagree with that at all. I don't think so. I don't think that's what I've seen or heard. I know people disagree with them politically, but like, I'll be honest with you, like you, of course, like, I mean, what are you gonna, like, you know, it is what it is, man. Yeah. Basically, I've had this very cathartic moment where I've kind of realized all these things about how this world is structured today, and it's just been like, there's like this poster of a Full Metal Jacket of like the Vietnam soldier, like, oh, with his eyes open. I feel like that, like, just like, oh my God, this is the world we live in. Holy shit! And then I went through a phase a little bit where I think it was like 1984, and then thinking it was like a dystopia. I was like, the world's gonna end, and utopia and dystopia, and then I'm kind of now finally arriving at the middle here, and I'm kind of seeing it all come together and through, and you know, and it's very interesting. But I think if I had to say anything, like, what is our job to do for humanity, since we have this moment and this opportunity? Educate them, man. Educate them. That's our only hope. It is literally the only fucking hope. Educate them far and wide, infinitely. And we've done that. We've done that. Do you understand? Like, the firing shots have been fired. They already been fired. This race is over. The internet is there, man. Phones now even exist too, so now it can be in your hand, not just like tied up to like a telephone pole. Like these are spread far and wide. And I think some people might try to say, oh, well, you need to be like a white straight man to succeed in it. No, you don't. No, you don't. You do have to assimilate to the culture, though. And you have to be friendly and nice. I think sometimes people look at this from the ass end. And so they just look at it from their perspective. Like, they don't try to take themselves out of their shoes. And I think not only that we do that, but the other side does that too. And they might do it more than us because of education. And we need to fix that. That's the only way out. That's the only way out. If not, it's just a waiting game until this all ends. And I don't mean your life. It's probably not going to happen in your lifetime. I'll be honest with you. There's been a lot of fucking humans on this planet. And there's been a lot of humans that have existed kind of in this world. And to be honest with you, the firing shots of this ended in World War II. And then arguably the end of this Cold War. And that happened because of a lot of what a lot of people other did before that. Like, so, like, to think it's going to happen in your lifetime, I got to be honest with you, keep dreaming. That's not going to happen. Too easy, buddy. Too easy, or my friend, too easy. You're not getting out of this one. You do have a duty here. Because, you know, I hear what those people are saying, but you're saying, like, by arguing that some people are privileged, right? I get what they mean. But you have to understand that, and they have to understand too, that if we cannot start judging people based on what our ancestors have done, but what we do. That's what we've discovered really good by law, is that we're judged based on our actions and not our beliefs. And we're also not, this is what's important about the civil rights, is that we got people to come together. And that's what's important about America. I don't know many other countries that had a civil war for slavery. And so they shot slavery out of their nation. And so, you know, they deserve credit for that. And it's almost good that they're in that position. Because who else would you want in that position? Think about it. Think about that for a second. There's not a single other country in this world. So who else would you want it to have? I would want them. Every time. I wouldn't even want Britain, truthfully. No, I wouldn't even want them to have it. And so, okay, boundaries set, rules of the game acquired. We know what we're doing. We know what we're dealing with. Okay. What are we doing? So what's the goal? What should we do? What does the world need? Well, the world needs more education. That's what it needs. We need to increase people's wealth, but not just wealth. Wealth without knowledge is pointless, to be honest. I don't even know how you got the wealth, but lucky you. But if you don't do anything with it, if you don't increase, and also too, knowledge, getting so self-obsessed, also cancels it out. No fucking point then, right? You have to bring yourself outside of yourself, right? You can't just stare at yourself and go, wow, the great world is so great. And eventually when you realize that's not that fun, you go, the world's so bad. Who do you think fault that is, right? Who do you think the fault that is? People go, oh, I wish we lived in a tribe, in a village, and I don't have so many people around me. Who do you think that fault is? I know people go, well, it's the government's fault, it's my job's fault, blah, blah. But, is anyone actually stopping you? Like, is anyone actually holding you down and go, stay here? Are there travel restrictions? Could you just go to another country? See what it's like there? That should tell you something. I guess also, too, if I want to really make my point clear on who's good and who's not so good here. Okay. Who goes to who country? That's real simple, you know what I mean? Because, honestly, people are full of shit. I think we all can agree that. People lie. I'm not lying. I can't lie. It bothers my conscience. And so I just speak the truth. I speak my truth. That's it. Sometimes I'm kind of like a child because I react sometimes. But sometimes and then I'm wrong. And I apologize. But, and I've gotten better at that. But you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna end it here. Oh man, it's a brave new world for people, and I guess what comes ahead is that people are all collectively gonna wake up to this and what I'm talking about here, individually, on their own time. I'm not sure when. It might not happen in a big wave. It might happen collectively together pretty slowly. I mean, I don't know. But the whole theory of God being dead, that's not true. This is definitely not true. God is definitely not dead. And because God is supernatural. It lives in all of us. It's just what it is. It's really not that complicated. And God lives in our spirit, right? And so, was Jesus Christ literally God? I mean, it depends on your definitions, but by my definitions, yes. Because he lives in all of us. And when you lose a relative, there's nothing to worry about. They live on your memories. They live on your children. They live on what you carry on. However, even too, if politics doesn't really connect to somebody, and you're trying to tell them what we're supposed to do here, children, man, educate the youth, educate your kids, man, take care of them. That's because and if anyone older than me wondering how the youth are going to react to this as they slowly, well, I can tell you how. This is how I reacted. I go back on my upbringing, right? I go back on my upbringing, which is why the communist revolution is very scary, because a radicalized youth are scary. That's a scary thing. And Islam probably will always use that for time immemorial. Is it because there's no Islamic State? No, there's not. There isn't, but they want one Islamic State. That's what they want. But whatever. That's a separate thing. But yeah, we're always going to be plagued by figures like that. It's going to look something kind of like that, because that's just the nature of this. That's the nature of this conflict. If you look at any conflict in history, like, what they wear changes, right? It's what they wear changes. And so, I don't know. I hope I filled anyone with some hope and some optimism. Hope maybe I painted a clearer picture on the world around us, the world that we see today, and what's coming. And what's coming is, I don't know, but my intuition tells me it's good, and all the facts around me tell me that, and it's not going to be some World War III. I don't think that's what we're inching towards. I'll be honest with you. Well, I'll be honest. China's just a paper tiger. I don't know. That's just what it is. Take it here, though, guys. Everyone take it easy. Peace. I've been posting a lot. Probably take a break for a while. Hopefully someone sees this. If not, well, at least I got it out of me. But God love you, and God bless.